What's up, Free Rangers? So here is the new warm-up for the week of October 19th. Just another head-to-toe, get the body moving kind of thing. So we're going to start with some arm circles. Nice and easy, allowing your elbow to stay straight, just tracing the largest circle you can. And imagine you're right next to a wall and you don't want your hand to touch the wall. So ideally, if we're not out here, that's good. We're just making circles up over the top. As you do this direction, try and think about your palm is kind of pushing through the air the entire time. So at the top, you'll rotate it so that the palm continues to push. Let's try the other arm. Palm goes up, we rotate when it's up overhead, palm goes down. That way, whichever direction your hand is traveling, your palm should be what's kind of touching the air first. Really pay attention to if and when your elbow wants to bend and try and iron that out a little bit. All right, back to the original hand. We're going to go in reverse with the opposite idea. Back of your hand will be leading, up overhead, rotate it, so that again, the back of the hand is always what's meeting the air first as you kind of travel through this circle. Switch arms, going backward, back of the hand leads. Nice. Let's get some neck rolls. Oh yeah, did a fair amount of farmer's carry. This would be last Thursday reviewing. I'm making this for the future. You're viewing the past, I guess, here. But Thursday's workout had quite a few neck roll or farmer's carries, and so these neck rolls feel amazing. Switch directions. All right, so let's get the arms in front. I'm going to show you this from the side. We're going to do some shoulder rolls, kind of like we normally do with our arms down here, but we're going to do it with the arms out in front, keeping your elbows locked. Let's try to make the largest circles we can without bending the arms. If you need to go a little wider with your hands, sometimes that can help. I think it's a little bit more challenging initially if your hands are narrow, but you're trying to trace very large circles around your shoulders without allowing the arms to bend. We'll go both directions. If you start to notice an area where the elbow always bends, so on my right arm, right about here, it does slow it down there and try and really control it. This is as much a neurological challenge as it is like a stretch or a warm-up, so we want to try and recalibrate how the body understands moving, the shoulder in this scenario. So try it out throughout the week. Next up, let's take a nice wide stance. This should be familiar here. Hands out to the side. We're going to reach over. Oh yeah, over. You're going to round your back and kind of hug something forward. And then you're going to arch back. 5 times. Over. As you go over, try and straighten your upper arm. As you do the round forward, try and tuck your butt underneath. We don't want to keep it flat like a deadlift. You want to tuck your pelvis underneath, and then arch back. And as you arch back, A, don't try and talk because it's very difficult, but B, each time maybe think about trying to spot something on the wall behind you a little bit lower than the previous round. Nice. Feels pretty good. Let's drop down into the squat. Find your bottom position here, get comfortable, and bounce it out. Every darn day, you got to be down in the squat at some point. If this is your first time, enjoy it. It's a little bit of a stretch, I'm sure. Although if it's 6 a.m., this would be pretty normal for this to be your first squat. But I bet there are some folks that still have squatted down this deep before class. And to you, kudos. It's good for you. Just bouncing. It's almost like you're brushing your teeth. You're brushing all of the corners and angles that you can for your ankles, your knees, your hips, your toes, even your feet. Just trying to move it around. Maybe instead of brushing your teeth, you can think of flossing your teeth. It's equally, if not maybe better than brushing, but a lot of people skip it, but it has a lot of the same long-term benefits. So a little bit every single day goes a long way. Okay, so we're in the bottom of the squat here. We can either touch our hands to the ground or grab your feet or your ankles, but we're going to do some of the Russian baby makers. So from a squat, you're going to get into a straight-legged position. We'll show you from the side. So trying to keep your legs locked, getting a little bit of a hamstring or the entire back of your body stretch. And then we're going to drop down into a squat. Try to be very upright. Elbows are inside your knees. If this is easier for you to consider going to the balls of your feet, it's another option you can do here. We're just going to go back and forth between folding our body in half and then squatting down. Nice. After that, go ahead and take a seat on your back side. We're going to assume two 90-degree angles here, one at both knees, and I want you to turn to the side where your instep is open. You're going to get a nice, tall, upright posture. We're going to lean your chest out over your knee or your shin in some direction. Ideally, or maybe feeling-wise, you should feel a stretch in this side's kind of hip or glutes, and we're just kind of pushing down into it for a moment. Just feeling a little bit of a passive stretch here. And then ideally, hands-free, we're going to try and pivot, nice and controlled, to the other side. And then drop down. If you're unable to do it hands-free, you can consider leaning back and just gently using your hands. But this transition and the struggle or kind of effort through the middle is a big part of the benefit here. So don't skip it. Take your time and get the most out of it. We're just going to go back and forth 5 times. For those of you who find this more manageable, as you go through the transitions, try and leave one leg down as long as you can as you open up the other side, and only bring that trailing leg over at the last possible moment. So you're kind of trying to get the knees as open as you can in the transition. Good. Looking for nice, even tempo throughout that transition. Let's get one more each direction. Solid. Then if you can, we're going to take a nice, wide straddle stance. At first here, let's just try and get nice and tall and gently lean forward. We don't have to turn this into a crazy stretch now or throughout this warm-up. But just feeling a little bit of where the resistance is, and we'll just kind of rock side to side just a tad. And we're going to go kind of like last week, but now with this straddle position. We're going to roll back, make sure there's nothing behind you. Touch the ground. Then you'll roll forward into the straddle and reach. I'm in pretty tight quarters here with the barbell behind you, but just make sure you're not going to roll onto your back or your head and hit anything, because that will hurt. Hold your last one as you roll forward. Just going to get a few breaths here. Maybe you're a little bit further forward than you were before. If you can touch your hands, you can touch your forearms, You can touch your head. Awesome. But hopefully by this point you're feeling pretty warm and you're ready for the rest of the day. Enjoy it!